Hi, Mitch. Louis here from cricket.com.au. Bad luck on the injury front, mate. What was the kind of process like to get out of the UAE? Was there any point where you thought you might not be able to get on a flight?
Yeah, there was definitely a point. I think there was sort of a bit of chat around there being no available flights for about a month to get home. So that was something that we were prepared for. Once we left the country, we knew that it was potentially going to be hard to get back in if we went on the chartered flight with the Australian boys. But yeah, somehow a team manager for the Sunrisers just texted me and said, "You're on a flight tonight." So it all happened pretty quickly. Yeah, here I am in quarantine.
So what have the scans kind of said? What do you know about the injury, and is the Sheffield Shield something you're kind of targeting?
Yeah, hopefully I can get back for the last game, or maybe even 2 games if all goes really well. Scans we don't really know what happened with the scans over in the UAE. Cricket Australia haven't been able to get their hands on them, so it's a bit of a weird situation. So hopefully I'll go for another scan at some point this week if I can get clearance, and then we'll be a lot clearer on what we're dealing with. But yeah, at this stage, I'm sort of hoping that I can get back for at least 1 Shield game, which would be great.
Sorry to keep going here, but is that something that's difficult, that you can't get out while you're in 2 weeks of quarantine, that you can't go out and get a scan? Or
yeah, look, I think that I actually don't really know, to be honest. I just sort of wait for a phone call to tell me what's going on. So yeah, hopefully at some stage I can get out, but obviously if not, yeah, we'll just wait another 10 days.
Thank
Mitch
you.
Woodcock.
Hey Mitch, bad luck with the injury. Just, you got back into the Australia side, looked like you were playing some really good cricket. How frustrating is this for you, and do you still feel like your best cricket's ahead of you?
I'm hoping my best cricket's still ahead of me, yeah. Look, yeah, this one was obviously really frustrating and a little bit unlucky. It's just one of those things. I've sort of tried to dive for a ball like that probably 1,000 times in my career, and my spikes just somehow got caught in the wicket. So it's one of those really frustrating injuries. But yeah, I've sort of been through a few now to think I know how to deal with it. And I moaned and groaned for about 48 hours while I was in the UAE, and obviously I was really disappointed to miss out on the opportunity of playing the IPL again. But now I just look forward to getting back as soon as I can, getting stuck into my rehab, and yeah, doing everything I can to be fully fit in whenever that is.
How were you feeling though, form-wise, before the injury? Obviously you had a great tour of England and we're looking to have a big IPL.
Yeah, look, it was nice to contribute to a few wins for Australia again. I went over there in a really good headspace. 6 months at home, working on my game, and just in a really great place in my life. So yeah, it's always disappointing to not be playing cricket now, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I was really looking forward to the opportunity of playing the IPL, having not played there for a few years. But yeah, obviously it wasn't meant to be this year, and hopefully I can get back there next year.
Thanks, Mitch. John?
Thanks, Georgia. Thanks for your time, Mitch. You're hopeful you've avoided surgery at least?
Yeah, fingers crossed, yeah. I mean, that's obviously a worst case scenario. It's more than likely a syndesmosis, which is quite common in AFL circles, I think, and footy codes. So I think obviously worst case scenario is surgery, but I don't feel that yeah, it'll be that bad at all. So yeah, I'd say I'd be very surprised if I have to go down the surgery path, but you never know.
Yeah. And in terms of the scans that were taken, are they still somewhere over in the UAE floating around?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I think we got Cricket Australia got a report, but they weren't able to get their eyes on the scans, which probably made it tough for them to make real decisions around what it actually is. So that's why I'll probably go for a scan at some point in the next week.
And just one last one from me. We've seen the New Zealand one-day series cancelled this summer, allowing sort of more of the guys to go back to the Big Bash. Do you think a lot of the guys will go back to the Bash, considering a lot of them have been in hubs for quite a while by that point?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Look, to be honest, I can't really speak for the other guys. Having just been in a hub for 4 or 5 weeks, or maybe even 6 weeks, it is difficult, but it's something that we're used to, time away from home. It's no different to touring places like India where you don't really leave the hotel anyway. So I guess it'll also depend on the amount of cricket some guys have played. You see guys like Pat Cummins and Mitchell Stark and Dave Warner, those guys, they play so much cricket that fitting in big bashes can be quite tough, but I think most other guys will look to play such a great tournament to be a part of, and something that we all look forward to playing in. So I'm sure that most guys will play if they can.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, John. Arms, iPhone. Sorry, I don't see a name there.
That would be me, Tanya Armstrong.
Hey, Tan, go for gold.
Hey, Mitch, Tan. I think you were at one stage perhaps going to go straight to Adelaide. Was it your preference to come back to Perth?
No, at no stage that was the plan. It was potentially, if I couldn't get a flight, that I'd go to Adelaide or potentially Brisbane to serve my quarantine there, and then just train there and stay in some sort of hub. Yeah, obviously, when you're injured, it's sort of nice to come home and be around your family and be around people that you love and do your rehab and get right and go from there. But I think in these sort of uncertain times, it was just I was prepared to go anywhere, but it was always the plan to try and get home if I could. Yeah,
sure. One more from me. What are you doing for your ankle, given that you're sort of still waiting for clarity on exactly what's wrong? Are you just rehabbing it at the moment?
Yeah, just rehabbing it. Yeah, just got I'm pretty limited with resources in my little hotel room here, but I've got a few bands and stuff that I can work on. Just doing little things, keeping it moving, and doing as much as I can. So that's about half an hour of my day that I've got to kill, and a few more hours to kill outside that.
What do you do the rest of the time?
I don't really know what I've been doing. Got my guitar here. I've had about 15 FaceTime calls a day with mates to keep me going. It's pretty crazy. I've got another 10 days, another 11 days in here, so I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Thanks, Mitch. Go well.
Cheers.
Thanks, Tan. Bo from Channel 10.
Hey, mate. I was just going to ask about the quarantine stuff as well. Obviously, Tan just mentioned it, but are you the kind of person that can just sort of sit around and chill out, or are you going a bit stir crazy?
Look, I'm being forced to chill out and do not much. I do like to get out and about most days when I can, but probably being in the hub the last 6 weeks, you've learned to do different stuff. Trying to find a few Netflix shows. If anyone's got any, that'd be great. Just a lot of phone calls with friends and bit of TV, bit of guitar. That's about it, really. There's not much I can do, unfortunately.
And we've heard plenty of stories and seen photos of people getting some pretty average meals served up. Are you getting fed pretty well? Because I imagine you'd be a pretty big eater.
I can be a pretty big eater. Unfortunately, with not much output at the moment, I'm having to watch what I eat. But my girlfriend did drop me off a few parcels on Sunday, so there's a few treats in there. So, but I've been fed pretty well. The food's been steady, I'd say, but luckily we can get food from elsewhere as well. So, nothing to complain about here.
Thanks. Mark Reddings, Channel 7.
G'day, Mitch. Sympathy to you about having to spend that time in the Crown Towers penthouse and all that goes with it. On a serious note, you mentioned syndesmosis, which, as you mentioned in footy's sort of the buzz injury, unfortunately, for a lot of footballers. That has a ring to it of being, more than a few weeks. It could be quite a lengthy stint. Is that what you're mentally at least preparing for?
Look, I don't really know too much about the injury, but I've spoken to a few of the footballers already about it. Some say they can get back in 5 to 6 weeks. I'm hoping mine's on the minor end, which was why I sort of said 4 weeks. that's certainly what it kind of feels like. But yeah, there's obviously worst case scenario. It can be up to sort of 3 months, so you never really know. But judging on how my ankle feels, I'm really confident I'll be able to get back in maybe 4 weeks. I'm sort of starting to walk okay now. That's been a week, so yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. I really don't know, but judging on my gut feel, and I've had a few injuries in my time, so I feel like I'm almost a physio these days. Yeah, hopefully it's around the 4 week mark and I can play a couple of Shield games for WA.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Skeet. Louis?
Yeah, Mitch, do you almost feel, I know it probably doesn't feel like it at the moment, being in hotel quarantine and having a long stint ahead of you, but could it almost be a blessing in disguise in terms of if you can get it right and play a Shield game or two before the tests start, you know, putting your name forward for a test recall? Is that something that's kind of on your mind?
Yeah, look, it's not something that's necessarily on my mind, getting a test recall, but yeah, having the ability, trying to get back and play cricket as soon as I can that's the goal. And wherever it is, that'll be for WA. So yeah, I guess before the test series started, I wouldn't have had a chance of playing red ball cricket. So I guess if there is one positive to come out of it, is I will be playing some Shield cricket, but yeah, I'd love playing for WA as well, which is great, and with the boys. So it'll be nice to get over there if I can.
Is it the kind of one that you feel that batting might be a bit easier than bowling, and you might be able to play as a specialist bat?
Yeah, from what I've been told, I'll certainly be playing as a batsman before I start playing as a bowler. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one.